We are live. I feel like I need some sort of like intro. You know what I mean? Like a signature thing to say at the beginning of these streams. Moose, what's up? Mike, Mr. Money Mike Madness, the real deal, is in the building. Robert, who prefers to go by Bobby, which we will call him Bobby's here. Luca, how are you? My moderator, Robbie's here. Poke, D, how you doing? Perpetual Noise, what's going on? Spencer, how are you? Joe, how's it going? Michaela, Luca, again, a different Luca. No, the same Luca with a different picture. What up, Genetic? The MLB place. I used to be Fenway Red. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. It's a fun name. Isaac, how are you? Gary, how's it going? Damon, how you doing? You're new. I see that, Mike. All Red Soxed out. I like it. Yeetski, what's going on? Eric's here. His nickname is My God. My God. I like it. I like it a lot. Whoo. Whoo, 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 whoo. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I need a catchphrase or something. Man, this thing, what do they call this when it ripples like this? Is it just called ripples? Nice video earlier. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Means a lot. I love talking about those prospects, man. I swear to God, I'll talk about prospects every day for, I don't know, 45, 50 minutes. Then I'm like, all right, let's move on to something else. But yeah. I like talking about them. They call it stretched out. Well, oh, this is stretched out? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I daydream about Roman Anthony all day in school. Yeah, same, and I don't even go to school. Heard something earlier and wanted your side of it. Hit me with it then, folks, because I'm curious. Because we got a pretty decent amount to talk about today. What up, RJ? We got a pretty decent amount to talk about. We're going to be going over a whole lot of reliever options because, according to everybody, the Red Sox are all in. I wouldn't say all in because every time I say all in, it doesn't work. But apparently they're in on all the big relievers. So we'll see where it goes. We're definitely going to go through. I'm going to go through my top option. We're going to go through. We already talked about Tanner Scott a lot, so I don't know if we're going to fully deep dive into Tanner Scott, but if you guys want to, we'll do that again. And then we're going to go over another guy that I think is someone that should absolutely be on the radar. We're also going to be talking about the latest connection, I'm going to say, the Red Sox have to a reliever, which is kind of interesting to me. It's not like crazy smart, in my opinion, but it could be someone, especially with the way the back end of the bullpen's shaping up to be. Spring training radio? Yeah, I know. When's Nesson going to try and poach you his talent? I really appreciate the compliment. Probably never. Right? Probably never. Jacob deGrom to Boston? I've not seen that anywhere. Honestly, I don't know because you would have to trade for him, right? I don't know if the package connected to the getting DeGrom would be worth what DeGrom would bring. With the way that the rotation is shaped up right now, I don't know. Right? I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'd be totally comfortable giving what it would take to get DeGrom. I haven't seen anything about anyone there being any real rumors or anything. Yeah, so AJ Minter, baby. Bring him to me. I've been all aboard the AJ train for a while. Heard that the deal is pending. It is certainly not pending. The Red Sox are not close to a deal with Jacob deGrom. We would have had much more information on it. And I don't think we have seen anything outside of what was it, like a faceless Twitter account. There's a lot of fake hot stove videos. Yeah, I think that's probably where that's going. Yeah, I wouldn't trust anything right now. Wait for someone who's more connected to the team I doubt it. I really do doubt it's happening. Think we get Alex Bregman? I'm not confident, Aiden. I'm not confident. Certainly not confident, actually. There was a fake Mookie video. Whoa. There was a fake video of Mookie Betts coming back. Yeah. Oh, boy. Oh, brother. Hey, that's a click. It's a click. It's a click. Alonso. So we did get the Red Sox have checked in on Pete Alonso. I would not personally put too much stock into those. To me, Pete Alonso doesn't make any sense. And in fact, to me, he makes no sense with the money he's looking for. Well, just the money attached to him in general, right? There's a difference. I feel like we as fans see, Bregman wants, $250 million or Burns wants $300 million. And we're like, oh, well, that's what he's going to get, right? Well, at the end of the day, it's the market that dictates what a player ends up getting. So, Pete Alonso wants one thing. I still think even market-wise, regardless of what he ends up signing for, is just, in my opinion, it just doesn't make too much sense. I think, like, you look at it, and here is my reasoning for the Pete Alonso stuff. Yes, the home runs are high. That's great. He also strikes out a ton. He doesn't really get a ton of other hits, right? A 240 average, a 217 average the last 2 years. That's what he was doing. Hey, average means a whole lot less than it used to, but I still think that's pretty important statistic. You go to the strikeout rate, right? That's above average, means he strike out more than the average bear there. Like I sit here with Pete Alonso, it's like, okay, are you going to pay Pete Alonso, what, 26, 27 million a year, maybe into the 30s, right? For, I don't know, it's looking like the Mets want to give him a 4 or 5 year deal. He wants longer. I would guess it probably ends up shorter. Or would you rather just have Casas during that time, right? I don't know. Okay, hold on. I'm pausing this. There's a difference, guys. I think there is a difference here. So some people are saying, this team's trash, right? It's terrible. They aren't spending money. There is a difference, in my opinion, between spending money and not going the extra mile to get some of these guys and the team being garbage. Because the team is just, if you actually look at the team on paper, it just isn't, right? You can be upset with the ownership group. You can be upset with the front office. You can't sit there and tell me that this team is a dog crap team, because it just simply isn't. Right? It just simply isn't. In fact, I would venture to guess that a lot of people who aren't Red Sox fans, who aren't sitting there expecting the Red Sox to spend big money, are saying, look, the offseason looks pretty solid. The team was pretty good last year, right? They weren't great. They were an average baseball team. You add on a couple of really high talented players, this team could be a lot more than average next season. You include the additions to the staff via the minor leagues. You just simply can't sit there. You just simply can't sit there and say that this team is bad. You can't do it. You could sit there and say the Red Sox are cheap. You could sit there and say that John Henry has not been doing his job, and all of those would be true. But to say this team is trash just simply isn't. It's just simply not. You are, your record says you are. Then even if you want to just go strictly based off a record from last year, they still weren't a bad team. They were just a dead average team, right? Now you make additions, so what are they? What up, Salty? I need to get that out of there. Bullpen's just bad. So here's the difference with the bullpen. Again, I did the postseason video, right? Are the Red Sox a playoff team right now? And in it, I said I'm most nervous about the bullpen. And I am still the most nervous about the bullpen. And that is, trust me, guys, we're going to be talking about that today, because it doesn't look like the Red Sox are done adding to that bullpen. But the one thing I'll say is, saying it's garbage or trash, I don't know if that's the right term to use. And I'll tell you exactly why. Because I think the floor is absolute garbage or trash, right? You sit there and you think about what they were last year and you say, boy, that could be repeated again, minus Chris Martin, minus Kenley Jansen. Okay, I understand that argument. But you also have to consider Justin Slayton's fully healthy and now wet behind the ears a little bit, right? Garrett Whitlock's healthy and going back into a high leverage bullpen role. That's a fantastic point. Liam Hendricks coming back, and we don't know what we're going to get from these guys, but my point with all of these, not to mention, you've added in Aroldis Chapman, and Justin Wilson, for some reason, Alex Cora and Craig Breslow love this guy. I don't know what it is. I don't know what happened here. We talked about in the video, he's got really good statistics on every single one of his pitches, but his fastball tends to work out well in the Bailey pitching lab, right? The ceiling of the bullpen is really high. The problem with the bullpen is not the talent. The problem with the bullpen is the consistency, is the question marks, right? You could point to any guy in that bullpen and say, that guy's a question mark, right? But you could do that with a lot of teams. My point is, one more arm in here that isn't so much a question mark, whether that be a Jeff Hoffman, a Kirby Yates, Tanner Scott, AJ Minter, right? Any of those guys come in here, that is one more constant, consistent answer to a question, and I think that bullpen looks a lot better. And if the bullpen looks a lot better with one addition, it can't simply be trash, right? That doesn't make sense. It doesn't equate. Kool-Aid. This isn't really drinking Kool-Aid. It's just strictly looking at the overall bullpen, I think. Just no depth. I would argue they have more depth this year. I would say they have more depth this year already than they had last year just because people are coming back. You add in Justin Wilson, you add in Aroldis Chapman. Already, all of a sudden, your AAA depth becomes who? Right? Chris Murphy, Zach Kelly, Bernardino could possibly be a minor league option. You got that Morani guy you traded for. You've got Chris Murphy. Did I already say Chris Murphy? I don't know. I'm going to throw him in there again. Maybe Josh Winkowski becomes depth. You're already talking about Penrod, Guerrero. That's 7 guys I named off the top of my head that are just sitting in AAA who have big league experience. That was a big thing last year, right? Justin Slayton goes down. Chris Martin goes down. You're relying on guys who are either journeymen in baseball, i.e. a Brad Keller, or you're relying on someone who has no experience in Major League Baseball, and that's why you saw those inconsistencies. Cam Boozer looked great for most of the year, but he would go through these stretches where there were certain things that guys would pick up on. Why? Because he was brand new to Major League Baseball. Zach Penrod and Guerrero looked fantastic, but they were young, right? They got thrown into this mix. Bailey Horn was a guy who had minimal Major League experience before he got up here, so you saw the inconsistencies come through. This year, even with just those additions, all that depth that has now had Major League experience is waiting and ready if something were to go wrong. I think there's more depth in this bullpen now than there was over the last couple of years. And that doesn't even include guys like David Sandlin, who's running it up minor league systems, Hunter Dobbins, who is running it up minor league systems. Hey, they don't have a spot in this rotation right now. It's pretty crowded. Guess what? You're going to fill in the bullpen role. Fitz, Priester. I mean, that's 9 players, right, who have relatively decent, at the bare minimum, give me big league innings type ceilings that you could throw into that bullpen. I don't think you could sit there and say they've got less depth this year than they did last year. Am I going to talk Casas tonight? Yeah, I guess we could talk Casas tonight. Justin Wilson's not very good. Yeah, the statistics aren't very good, but there were a couple of people who sat out there last year. Greg Weiser came in this organization. People were like, his statistics aren't very good, right? I don't know, right? He was a solid bullpen arm. There were a couple of guys the Red Sox signed over the last couple of years who've looked pretty good. I'm losing chat. I'm trying to keep up with these guys. Get Pete Alonso? No. Oh, it's just about Liam Hendricks getting healthy. Yeah, usually when we talk Casas, it doesn't end well. Yeah, Whitlock's projected to be in the bullpen. According to Forbes, yeah, we know. The Red Sox are 3rd richest team in baseball. We know that. Why no to Pete Alonso? Because you're paying $30 million for the exact same player you already have at first base. Right? I mean, that's the clear answer. It would be a lateral. And on top of that, you got Vladdy coming on the market, which I think the Red Sox, Chris Cotillo literally said there's mutual interest, right? The Red Sox would love to get Vladdy. I mean, any team would love to get Vladdy. That's kind of a tough thing to say. But if you're going to change your first baseman, why would you sign up for 5 years of Pete Alonso when you could go all in and get the 26-year-old who's putting up better numbers? If you are that hell-bent on changing the first base position, it baffles me to sit here and say, oh, yeah, it must be Pete Alonso. He's going to give you 40 homers a year, guys. This is the dude to go get. No. No. What's up, Dennis? Eric. Yeah, I saw that question. Arenado or Bregman? This is a big one. I think this is a big one, right? I don't have a true answer. Honestly, because here's where I'm at with the Bregman stuff. I have zero faith that the Red Sox are going to spend the money. I think going forward, that's just like this offseason, right? You're sitting there and you're saying, okay, I don't have faith the Red Sox are going to spend the money. Then everyone bombards you, whether it be analysts, agents, team officials, local beat reporters, Jerry Scoop Shop over there at Section 10 are saying, yeah, the Red Sox are going to spend some money. So there's a little part of you that goes, I wonder if the Red Sox are going to spend some money or outbid somebody for a service, right? I have no faith in it anymore. None. So I don't have any faith that they're going to sit there and they're going to say, Bregman, we're going to give you, they want 4 or 5 years. Bregman wants 6 or 7. You know what? We'll meet in the middle. We'll give you 6 years with an opt-out after 4. Boom. Done. Right? Clearly, the Red Sox aren't capable of doing that. So realistically, I want Bregman. And here's why I want Bregman. Bregman can play second or third base. Christian Campbell can play second base, shortstop, any outfield position. I wouldn't put him in right field at Fenway. I would be more than comfortable putting him in center field or left field. He could play a little third base. You could fit him into the roster anywhere, right? Then you got Marcel Meyer, who has gotten some time at third base. He could play over there if he needs to. I'm sure he could learn second probably pretty easily. He's going to get at least 2/3 of a season in AAA this year. That versatility going forward allows you to use Bregman in a whole bunch of different ways. Even if you want to hold on to Masso or Casas or whoever, you could still fit all these guys on a roster. On top of that, he's a fantastic clubhouse guy. We know this about him. I think that's important with these young guys coming up. He's a high contact player. He's a low strikeout player. He's going to be good for 20, 25 home runs a year from the right-hand side. I don't know how much his doubles go up at Fenway or go down. I have no idea. It doesn't matter. He's still going to give you that type of production. Sure, he's regressed a few years. At the same time, the only thing that's truly regressed in Bregman's game here has been his on-base percentage. And a guy who's had a higher on-base percentage his entire career, you're sitting there and telling me there's no chance that this guy can't turn his on-base percentage around, that this is who he is for the next 6 years? I just simply can't believe that. So it's Bregman, and it's not even a question. Now, the problem is, if we're living in reality, it feels like it's Arenado and not Bregman. And I don't know what to make of that. I don't hate the Arenado thing, but like I've said, what's up, hero? Like I've said, I don't like the idea that Arenado means trading Casas. Now, we could sit here and debate whether it actually does. Every news outlet that has reported Nolan Arenado and Red Sox interest has also simultaneously reported Tristan Casas trade rumors. I simply don't understand that possibility. I get it. The Red Sox might not be happy with the fact that he has a contract that he does not want to sign an extension. They may be a little weary about the idea that, maybe he doesn't stay on the field for a full 162. They may have some personality issues. I don't know. But what I do understand is that move does not make this team better. Trading for Arenado, getting rid of Casas in another deal to get, a closer from the Twins or a closer from the Mariners. Hands up, right? We just pay a closer. Just pay a closer and hold on to Casas. It's felt like we said that this entire goddamn offseason, right? We sit here today, we don't need to make these moves if you just pay somebody. Man, I did not mean to get this hot this quick. Eric, I didn't think you were going to set me off by... Usually it takes you a little bit. I don't know. Right? I don't know. I don't know. I'm feeling good tonight, Chad. I'm feeling good. What's up, BC? Imagine if it's Grichuk they get. I'd prefer they get Grichuk and hold on to Casas than get Arenado and trade Casas. Right? I think I'd take that every day. Any talks to trade Casas are not taken well by me? Yeah. If you're moving Casas to make a play for Vladdy, are you okay? Honestly, enough birds, yeah. Grichuk went to the Pirates? Well, then maybe not. Am I okay with the Red Sox trading Casas if it's to make a play for Vladimir Guerrero Jr.? Yeah, RJ. It's literally what I did. I went, oh, okay. If it's a straight trade for Vladdy and then a $400 million extension right away, yeah. Right? Yeah. Okay. If it's we're gonna trade him this year and we're gonna see if Vladdy's maybe available at the deadline, or we're gonna see if Vladdy's available during the offseason, I hate it. And if you want to move Casas, wouldn't it be more beneficial to allow him to play this season, increase his trade value, and then trade him next year and then go get Vladdy, or better yet, get Vladdy and then try to move Tristan? Again, it comes back to do you have faith that the Red Sox, who notoriously over the last 2 years have not put their money where their mouth is, are going to finally put their money where their mouth is? I don't. That's incredibly risky in my opinion. One, we saw with Soto, right? Soto goes to the Mets. Red Sox give Fried a fat contract, way overpay him in my opinion. The Yankees say, no, we're not losing another one of these bad boys, and well overpay Max Fried. And all of a sudden, you're out Max Fried. All it takes is the Mets not re-signing Pete, or what's his face from Massachusetts. They always mention Ben Rice maybe on the Yankees to be a bust. And now all of a sudden, you're going toe-to-toe once again with Steve Cohen and Hal Steinbrenner, and they have been mopping the floor with you for 2 years, probably longer, but we're going to just 23, 24 offseason, right? How do you sit there and say, that's a solid plan, Craig? That's a solid plan. No, Isaiah, they should do one. We should do one or the other. I don't think they have room for both. Nick, you're going to love my video today, brother. If you're asking about how good I think Christian Campbell will be this year, I think he's going to be fantastic. Do you think we signed Tanner Scott? Yes. So, okay. So we're way off the path here. Cannot make any moves now, anticipating landing Vladdy next year when it might not work out. Bingo. Right? Yeah, but the problem, Robbie, is I guarantee you the Blue Jays aren't even talking about it. They aren't even talking about an extension, or they probably are, but they're not going as hard as they should until spring training, because that's just when a lot of these things happen. Whew. Do I like Trevor Story's camp? I love Trevor Story's camp. I think it's a great idea. It's also a good look. Camaraderie is a big thing over 162. I think, especially getting Roman Anthony up there. I really love that. Getting him with Story and Ref Snyder and really sort of sitting there with these guys for days, I think is super important as well. Suddenly players want to play in Boston. I got to be honest with you. I think the whole time players wanted to play in Boston. I think, Teoscar last offseason, right? He wanted to play in Boston. The only name that is outwardly said, yeah, I'm good with Boston, after he signed was Jordan Montgomery. Outside of that, most of the time, Zach Eflin took the same deal that the Rays were giving as the Red Sox to go pitch at home, right? If the Red Sox had offered him a bit more money, gone that extra mile, folks, he probably would have signed in Boston. It wasn't a hatred of Boston. The only two I could think of are Jordan Montgomery and Shota Managa. Outside of that, I don't know, right? I don't know. Update on Nolan Arenado and Vladdy Jr. today. I got no new news. I would guess probably in May sometime, BC. How big is a healthy season from Story going to be on this team? Immeasurable. Right? A healthy Trevor Story totally changes the entirety of this lineup. He's a middle of the order bat. If he can get back to, and I don't even need him to be that prime Trevor Story, because we're not going to get prime Trevor Story probably ever again, mostly because, folks, he's out of his prime, right? But you go back to some of these, right? If he can get to, a 115 OPS plus, which is still worse than his best season in Colorado, and give us, there were years where he had 24, 27, 37 home runs. Give me 22 home runs and a 115 OPS plus. I don't care how you get there. This lineup looks entirely different. And he can absolutely do that. Oh, well, I see, Steven. Yeah, of course. Just doing my job. What are we waiting on right now? Moves across the league. It's quiet. So I think the big thing with why talks stall after winter weekend or winter meetings, I'm saying winter weekend because I got it on the mind for this weekend, is because you get through winter meetings and then you hit the holidays, right? And a lot of guys are like, look, I just want to be with my family. We'll figure this out after. And then once you get after the holidays, the guys that are left, all of a sudden it's just sort of this old Western shootout, right? Where they're both staring, doo-doo-doo. That was a terrible noise, but you know what I mean? Like the roly-poly rolling across the screen. They're sitting there. Teams are on one side, players are on the other, and the guys that are left, they're kind of on the clock. They've got until, because you don't want to go and look what happened with Snell and Montgomery, right? They go into a season without a full spring training, and they are shells of themselves. So now teams are sitting there, they're saying, look, buddy, sign the deal. We'll take you either way, but we're going to take you for less money in February, at the end of February, because you're going to have to hop on a team. We're going to have to hop. You got to get paid, right? So I think you sit there and you're kind of in this Texas-style shootout. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, I agree, Scott. One more move, and I think they are a division contender. What do I think about Tanner Scott? Love Tanner Scott. Everyone's saying that the team is barely better. Must be smoking stuff. I wouldn't even know where to find, even if the current roster just stays healthy. We're pushing for the postseason. Yeah. Still big issues, Henry. Always will be until something happens. Oh, Anton, did you send a link? No, you didn't. I don't know why that got hidden. I think it's because it thought it was a link. I don't know why that got removed, Anton. I'm sorry. Just saw Bregman news saying Tigers and Red Sox are favorite. You think we could land them? I have no idea, right? I have no idea. I genuinely... I don't know. I just don't have faith that they're going to do it. I've lost faith. I must admit I was more excited here about Vladdy yesterday than Soto, which I knew wouldn't come. Yeah, Vladdy does feel like more realistic, which is kind of weird because they're not in the same category in terms of the money they're going to make, but they're in the same category instead of I don't know. I've lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, but I agree. Yeah, it just feels more realistic. What is with the ads? I have no control over the ads. I put them at low. At least they might be a playoff team. Yeah, I think it's yeah. Odds of us getting Arenado. I think it depends on where this Bregman stuff plays out. I can't give an odds, right? Because I just don't know if the Red Sox have it in them anymore to make a deal. Kambler, Grissom, and Hamilton at second. Yeah. I mean, you could do that, right? You could do that. But sign Alonso and have him and Casas rotate DH. What are you going to do with Massa? Am I going to Fenway Fest? I haven't bought tickets yet, but I think so. Here's the interesting thing. So I put out the poll about the vlog for Fenway Fest because I was interested to see if you guys are curious about it. I don't know. Like, I don't know what to expect. Like, it's not as many panels this year. And it's all in one location in one day. Right? And I don't think I get autograph session anymore. So I don't know what the content's going to look like, but I'm thinking about it. Here's the thing. It's probably okay. So here, actually, it's a good. I got a bunch of you guys in here. Let's do a quick market research here. If the video is just sort of like an overview of what the new Fenway Fest looks like, is that something you guys are going to be interested in? Because I don't know. Like last year, it was easier to get interviews with personalities because the first day would end and they'd just be kind of hanging around, or the second day would end and they're just sort of hanging around. This year, I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Am I able to come to spring training interview? No, I got to save for a wedding, my guy. Roman Anthony making the team. I don't know if he makes it out of spring training. I think he gets the opportunity. I would more or less believe he's coming up in like May. Yeah, I agree, Dill. I agree. He is underrated. Okay. I would love to go to spring training, though. One picture, and one auto. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Wedding month? September 26th. It's interesting you walk around and we see through your lens. Okay. Wedding in Fenway. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Well, I wasn't sure if I'd be allowed to. Oh. Actually, I don't know the answer to that. I would assume no. Right? I wasn't able to get a media pass for Fenway this year. I probably won't be able to get one next year or the year after that. But I was able to get one for AAA, so I wonder if I'd be able to get a media pass for the minor league area. Probably, right? Do I think the Christian Campbell will make the team if the Red Sox sign Bregman? Yeah, he'll be on the team for sure. Maybe not opening day. What up, Harrison? Maybe not opening day, but he'll definitely be up there pretty quickly. Again, like I said in the video today, I think the most important thing to remember with Christian Campbell is he can play base. What up, Anastasia? Hopefully I said that right. He can play basically anywhere. You can fit him in anywhere, right? Ask at FanFest, ask Sam Kenny. Yeah, I'll make sure to do that. Yeah, there you wouldn't be able to fit all that athletic. Do I think? Okay. Miss Fenway, yeah, I know. I'd love it. Who do you think will be better this year? Garrett Crochet or Walker Buehler? Hopefully it's Garrett Crochet, right? New Hampshire, born and raised, baby. I love it. Who do I like in the farm system? In terms of impact this season? Well, let me give you the full rundown. I think Roman Anthony, I'll just go through the top 10. Roman Anthony will be on the Red Sox quickly, I think. Christian Campbell will be on the Red Sox at some point, if not quickly. Hunter Dobbins, I think, is a name to look out for. He's the boy. He killed it last year. I think he's going to be a very quick bullpen option if someone goes down. Fitz, I love Fitz. David Sandlin, I think, is a pitcher to keep an eye on. The ERA wasn't good, but the peripherals are fantastic. Conrad Kaysen. That's the name I want you guys to pay attention to. Conrad Kaysen. If Vladdy gets extended and sign Bregman, unfortunately, you can't sit there and wait. Right? You can't do that. You should do both. You're the Red Sox. You should do Bregman and then next year, get Vladdy, right? Because you could fit it all on one team. DFA Massa if you have to, right? I don't think any Red Sox fan would be like, we got Vladdy, so we had a DFA Massa. Yikes. What's the news with Kirby Yates? So here's the thing with the reliever stuff. Conrad Case. He does kind of sound like a cop. Here's the thing with the reliever stuff. It's all sort of general right now. We're hearing the Red Sox are in. We know that the Red Sox are in on Tanner Scott. We know that they're in on Jeff Hoffman, or at least they've stayed in contact with Jeff Hoffman. And then outside of that, we know they're in on like the top-ish relievers in the game. So here's kind of what I wanted to do before I got totally derailed by just getting angry. Better in 2025, Duran or Devers. It depends on what you're talking about. Depends on what, because I think they're going to be not equally as valuable, but I think they're going to excel in different areas, right? Who's going to have the better bat? I'd put all my money on Casas. Who's going to have the higher WAR? I'd put money on Duran. Home runs, it's Devers. Really, if it's anything at the plate, I think it's Devers. If it's anything sort of more generally, I think it's Duran. Could Jack Flaherty come to Boston? I don't think they have any reason to sign him. I think Story's a good leader, and if healthy, could be that right-handed bat. Sorely needed. At what point would Campbell be enough? At that point, would Campbell be enough? Yeah. I mean, if you're getting prime Trevor Story, then yeah. I just don't think you're going to get prime Trevor Story. If you get 114 OPS plus and 20 bombs, maybe. Backup catcher. Right now, it's what's his face, Carlos Narvaez. I really like that guy's profile. I don't know what he's going to look like at the major league level. He's their number 28 prospect right now. The Red Sox traded with the Yankees for him. He only got 6 games in Major League Baseball, so it's hard to take a look at that. At the AAA level, the on-base percentage was fantastic. It was a .370 on-base percentage, and he hit 11 homers in 96 games. He's got a bit of pop. I like it. And he's a good defensive player. He's a great defensive player. And honestly, that's all I care about, right? If you're going to be good, if you're going to be a backup catcher, or you're going to be a catcher in general, be good defensively. That's all I care about, right? No, Isaiah, I think you hold on to Trevor Story the deadline this year, just because I don't know if the Red Sox are going to be comfortable bringing up Marcelo Meyer at the trade deadline. I just don't. I think they're going to want to see how healthy he can be before they bring him up. What up, Ryan? Would I rather have Nolan Arenado or Bregman? In a perfect world, Bregman. In a perfect world, Bregman. Imagine Teal becomes an ex-Piazza. Well, then we better hope Crochet wins the Cy Young. What do I think, Steven? I think it's going to be hard for them to move Massa. Hey, Marjorie, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. That is, Buster, that is a reach, my guy. that is, I think, why does he keep doing this? I think Toronto would laugh you out of the building, right? I think he'd laugh you out of the building. Boy, you guys, could Ryan Helsley be included in a deal for Arenado, and would you want to take him for just 1 year? I don't think the Cardinals are going to want to attach, at least from what I've seen. I don't think the Cardinals are going to want to attach Helsley and drag his value down because, right? I mean, led the league in saves, led Major League Baseball in saves, right? Led the league in games finished, 2.04 ERA, 2.41 FIP. So right on there, right? He was striking out 10 batters per 9 inning, 3. This would be a guy. This would absolutely be a guy that would totally close out the Red Sox bullpen. I just don't see the Cardinals attaching him to Arenado because they're already kind of underwater with this Arenado stuff, right? If they're going to trade him, it's going to be for cash and a low-level prospect. It's not going to be, we're not trading Arenado for anybody, right? $10 super chat. First super chat in the live stream. Can we get some claps? Actually, you know what? Just like that message. Thank you so much, Ra Pinto Bean. I love that name, by the way. That's hilarious. That is unbelievably kind of you. Thank you. He says, watch the video drops every day. Keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. I want Kirby Yates. He was so good against us last year. I'm also pretty excited for Moss this year, unlike any other Sox fan. First and foremost, I think Kirby Yates. So here's, okay. Raw, thank you for bringing me back to earth. We got way distracted. So with Kirby Yates, I actually do want to talk about him a bit because this is somebody that the Red Sox have shown interest in. And I actually think them giving money to Chris Martin and him going home actually makes this a more realistic option. The only thing I worry about with Kirby Yates is the age, right? It'd be relying on your back end would be 36 with Chapman, 37 with Chapman, 33, 34 with Hendricks, and then 38 with Kirby. But, I mean, dude, he finished 8th in Cy Young as a reliever, right? This year, he was ridiculous. Oh, wait. I went through this whole spiel. Guys, chat, I don't know what's going on with me today. I went through this whole spiel and just didn't pull this up. So yeah, I would love Kirby Yates too. It'd be the only thing I'd be worried about. To the show we go. If you guys haven't checked out their Justin Slayton episode of To the Show We Go, trust me, you're going to want to watch that. Am I going to Fenway Fest? I believe so. Yes, sir. I'll be there. I will be there. You guys going? Another $5 from Raw. My man. Make sure we like that message. Unbelievably generous, man. Thank you so much. 2025 World Series champions. I smell it, hey. The only way to believe it is to smell it. I agree. I agree. Do you think we should be shopping Willier? Is that a keep? It depends on what you can get back for him. I think the Red Sox looked at Willier and tried to trade him, and they realized the value was much lower than it actually was. So we'll see. Will Rafaela play shortstop if Story doesn't pan out? I no, because Craig Breslow the other day actually came out and said, like, we didn't think his value was your boycott until they signed someone. Hey, as long as you're watching Red Sea. Man. Yeah, I don't know with Rafaela. Breslow said he thought that his value wasn't utilized as well as it could have been last year. But RJ, he's just trying to rage bait. Let him be. So I don't know who the backup to shortstop would be. I think Sogard could fill in. I don't know if you'd want Sogard to be an everyday player, but I think I'd be comfortable if, Story goes down for 3 weeks or whatever, having Sogard in there. Campbell, maybe, right? Campbell has played it. I don't. Again, that's another guy who I don't think I'd want there for a full season, but I'd be comfortable with for a few weeks. Grissom, probably not. Maybe in a pinch. We love Nick Sogard. Yeah. You guys do love Nick Sogard. Nick Sogard is the absolute man, dude. I'll tell you a story about Nick Sogard. I was trying to get Nick Sogard to interview for this channel for weeks, right? And I just couldn't find him. Basically, right? I just couldn't find him. And then I go there one day and it is rainy, it is cold, it was like, it must have been June or July. It was a abnormally cold, rainy day. This dude stood out in the rain with me to do an interview and then thanked me afterwards. Absolute gentleman. Big Nick Sogard's fan over here. And he's a talented baseball player. No one's talking about Nick Sogard because of the talent you have coming up in the middle infield, but you don't need Nick Sogard to be an everyday superstar. You need him to be an off the bench solid player, and I think Sogard could absolutely do that. We were off on another tangent. To the show we go. I'm trying to sit here. We're trying to talk relievers. I have been live for 47 minutes. We've talked about a single reliever. We've talked about one. What are we doing? What up, Tim? What are we doing? That's the kind of guy Nick Sogard is. So nice off the field. Yeah, he was genuinely just a really... And last year I was nervous most of the time, and guys could tell that, right? I was uncomfortable going in the locker room. I was uncomfortable pulling these guys away from their everyday routine because this is their job, right? And he was so patient with me. I messed up a question. He allowed me to redo it. Like, very, very patient. I've been an absolute fan of Nick Sogard after that, and honestly before that. I love Nick Sogard. So maybe I'll buy a Nick Sogard jersey. Maybe if Nick Sogard, you know how we bought a Zach Kelly one last year? Maybe if Nick Sogard does another one, or has a moment like Zach Kelly did, I'll put out a Twitter thing and we'll buy a Nick Sogard jersey. Thoughts on Phil Maton? There we go. There we go, Andrew. All right, I don't actually. Is it Andrew? I hope it's Andrew, or else I just called you the wrong name. To the show we go, I will say. Phil Maton. So Phil was the last person the Red Sox have been connected to. Today, Chris Cotillo says, hey, the Red Sox are showing some interest in this guy. Whoa. Whoa. 2 super chats. We got to get through these before we come back to these. Make sure everyone gets their day in the sun. Make sure you like both of these. Thank you so much, guys. Unbelievably kind chat tonight. I really appreciate you all. G Fresh, the first one with a $9.99 super chat. I hate that YouTube does that. You think maybe we are getting caught up in spending for the sake of it and perceive Bregman as the best available options. In reality, in other words, do we really want Bregman or just want the team to spend? Well, I think it's a mix of both. I genuinely think Alex Bregman is a legitimate asset for this team now and over the next few years. I think he makes this team better on and off the field. I think he improves something that a lot of people are kind of dismissing when they talk about bats. Defensive ability, I think, is huge. So I really like that. I think cutting down on the strikeouts is another kind of, we've talked about it a lot on this channel, under the radar part of Alex Bregman's game. Would it also be nice to see the Red Sox shell out a contract? Yes. So I think it's a little bit of both. Personally, I want Bregman for Bregman. I think a lot of people want Bregman because it means spending. And then versatility gives us $5 super chat. He says Hoffman or bust. And folks, we are going to get into Hoffman because that's my number one target. We knew that, versatility. You and I, same wavelength most of the time. But yeah, I agree. Thank you again. Okay, back to Phil Maton. Am I saying his last name right? Phil Maton. Phil Maton. Regardless, Phil is a really, really interesting. Am I still on? I'm still on this, right? Yeah, okay. Phil is an incredibly interesting name because I think what Phil could bring is, one, a whole lot of experience, right? If the Red Sox can get him back to, and I do have faith with these. So a lot of people are like, oh, but the Red Sox he's going to be terrible with the Sox. I have faith that a lot of the guys that they're bringing in, pitching wise, are going to be good. I have a lot of faith in this front office and management and coaching to be able to really improve these guys' game. If you get this, I mean, is that your bona fide closer? No. Is that a solid 6th, 7th inning guy? Yeah. And I think, again, it brings consistency. Okay, I'm not going to say consistency is the wrong word. It brings experience to a bullpen. Last year it was all right. I mean, you get New York Mets, Phil. You're cooking with gas, right? 251, 257, 0.837 whip. Strikeouts were up too. If you get this, like, he's shown it. He showed flashes. I get nervous about the back half there. But the Rays pitching staff in general last year wasn't great. What I also think is interesting about Phil, and we're going to have to swap sites here, folks. We are going to have to swap sites to have this conversation. What I think is really interesting is he is sort of the polar opposite of what the Red Sox were looking for, at least up until this point. And what I mean by that is Craig Breslow, hey, I want guys who would throw hard. I want guys who hit the zone. Phil Maton, historically, right, not exactly a flamethrower. In fact, he is one of the lowest velocities in the entire sport when it comes to his fastball, just 87 miles an hour. But it could be an interesting pairing. It could be an interesting pairing, right? Because you've got Chapman who throws, 103. Prime Liam Hendricks, or I'm even going to say a healthy Liam Hendricks, is like 97, 98. Whitlock in the pen was like 97, 98. Slayton in the pen was like 97, 98 when he got real mad, right? Guerrero's in there. He's throwing chundos. This guy comes in, and it's a totally different look, and I honestly don't hate that. I just, in my opinion, there are bigger fish to fry, right? There are bigger fish to fry here. Right? Maton will be cheaper than Hoffman too. Yeah, but like, I don't care about the cost. That's where I'm at, right? You're so far under it, I don't care. Steven, that is absolutely not true. No. Kind of scares me. It feels like a Blyer kind of move, even if Maton is easily better. Yeah, that's a good comp. I just think this bullpen in particular is better set up to have that kind of guy, that kind of slop throwing, right? I'm going to spin you out of the zone instead of I'm going to blow you out of the zone. Wait. I think it's better set up to accommodate one of those guys than when Blyer was here, but I think that's an interesting conversation. Let me do this. If we're talking about who should be the guy, right? The Red Sox get one more. Tanner Scott is the best available option. He's the best available option. However, this dude would be a lot of fun in the Red Sox bullpen. He'd be a lot of fun. Jeff Hoffman has been more consistent recently. He's been better recently. He's pitched more innings recently. He's had higher leverage situations more recently. You know, the hard hit rate, okay, that's a problem. Barrel percentage, not great, could be better. Doesn't get a ton of ground balls, which might be good for this infield defense. But look at this, right? He gets a ton of chases on pitches outside of the zone. He gets a ton of swing and miss on pitches outside of the zone. And guess what? When he does that, he punches a whole lot of dudes out and he pounds the zone. 81st percentile in walk rate. Right? So you look at kind of this section here and you go, boy, could that be fun in a bullpen where you go from Chapman, Hoffman, Hendricks, or even Chapman, Hendricks, Hoffman, or even Slayton, Chapman, Hoffman. You know, like, you get so many options back there. All dudes who could blow it by you. All dudes who have proven that they could be successful in Major League Baseball. I really, really, really like Jeff Hoffman. This would be my pick. Have we talked about Tanner Scott yet, or is he unrealistic? Yeah, I put him in a video. We have broken down Tanner Scott a lot, right? We've broken down Tanner Scott a lot. Now, yeah, I'm not too worried about Hoffman's drop-off, if we're being honest. How old is he? 32? Yeah, it's not bad. Brent Rooker signed an extension with the A's. He's not going anywhere, unfortunately. I love Guerrero going into the season. I think he's going to be awesome. Yeah, he could be solid. Costas for Munoz and Ford. It's going to take more than that to get Ford from here. But this is what I'm talking about, right? If a year from now, if Costas goes off, that's probably a realistic trade, right? This wouldn't be an acquire. This would be a free agent. This would be a free agent. Plus, Hoffman's looking for a Clay Holmes deal. I'd signed that yesterday. Yeah, right? The only thing that's holding me back from Hoffman, the only thing is that there are rumors he wants to be paid and start, right? There are rumors that teams are interested in him coming in and starting. Right? So if that's what it's going to take, that's my problem. I don't know if I'd give him starter money. What did Clay Holmes end up getting? Super nice. Yeah, Luis Guerrero was always nice to me too. I didn't get to talk to him too much. So at 3-year, $38 million. Come on, Corbin, do the math. It's like 12.5 a year. Is that right? 12.5, give or take in that range. I'd give him 12.5 for 2 years to be in the bullpen, right? I don't think that's crazy. You paid. I was gonna say that's not bad at all. Not bad at all. $13 million is salary for the first of his 2 seasons. He has a $12 million player option. This is Clay Holmes, by the way. Player option for 2027 with no buyout. If that's what it takes, yeah, fine, right? Yeah, even if it's 14 or 15 million a year, I think that's totally fine. I would have no problem giving him a similar deal to what Clay Holmes got. The other name we need to talk about, so we need to talk about Tanner Scott, right? We need to talk about Tanner Scott. They were titled front runners. I mean, look at this baseball savant page. It's gorgeous, right? It is gorgeous. I don't know if I'd give Jeff Hoffman 4 years, just because relievers tend to be real volatile, even the best ones, right? I don't know. I mean, this could light a fire, folks. I'd hate Greg Maddux. Why? What did I say? When? We need a closer, period. Yeah. But it's interesting to me that so many people are just like, yeah, Liam Hendricks, he's not going to be able to close for this team. Like, it's interesting to me that everyone's just sort of like, yeah, we're good. That's a good point, Joe. That's a good point. But Jeff Hoffman's not an elite closer, right? He's a good bullpen arm. I don't know. Tanner, coming back to Tanner Scott. It's Vlad time. Brother, Vlad isn't a free agent. They can't go all out. See, that's where I think the conversation should be versatility. That's where I think the conversation should be, right? You sign Chapman to be your closer. This is the dude who I assume is going to be your closer coming in. You need someone in that bullpen who's going to back it up. Right? You need someone who's going to be able to back that up. Because if Hendricks come out and he's just not the dude he used to be, then all of a sudden you're relying on Justin Slayton, who's never been a closer in his life, a 37-year-old Chapman who hasn't looked great, right, in a closer role in a little bit, and Whitlock, who's coming off of injury as well. So you need to find a way to get someone in there that is going to be able to maintain that role. Tanner Scott's the best option. He is, but $20 million a year. You know what? I'm not. Whatever, dude. It's not my money. Give him $20 million a year. I wouldn't sign him for 4 years, but give him $20 million a year. I don't know if there's any like relievers out there right now that I'd give 4 years to. Mason Miller, I'd give 4 years to. Mason Miller, I'd give 4 years to. Ed Manuel Clase, Munoz probably. Never mind, they're a pretty decent amount. I thought Tanner Scott was way worse as a closer. Well, I think we can actually take a look at that, can't we? Might not be able to. Pause. We'll take a second for station identification here on Red Seat Radio. Usually, you know what? I don't really. They used to give you like how these are calculated, like if you just hovered over them. So you used to say like a percentage. Now it doesn't, and I don't really understand why. I wonder if we go into splits, it'll give me a. Because if I go into role, it's just reliever or starter, and obviously he was a starter. Well, I guess I could do by inning, right? Ninth inning. No, he's actually better in the ninth inning than he was in any other inning. Yeah, I wouldn't be too worried about him coming in the ninth. 121 ERA last year, 136 batting average, 434 OPS. Opponents had a 31 OPS plus against him in the ninth. I'm cool with that dude closing games if we need to. Helsley, I'd give him 4. All right, yeah, Helsley, I'd give him 4. Okay, there. Guys. Guys. Max Scherzer for closer. That'd be kind of fun, but also terrifying. I'm good. Do we need a fifth lefty in the pen? So these are the two big conversations with Tanner Scott, right? Is it worth giving $20 million a year for 4 years? And is it a smart decision to have 5 lefties in your bullpen? I don't know if it would be 5 versatility. Now that you say that out loud. Like if you get Tanner Scott, I'd assume that push. Does Brennan Bernardino have an option? If Brendan Bernardino is an option, I think this is a different conversation. He does. So Bernie becomes depth, Murphy becomes depth, and you got 3 in the bullpen, unless I'm missing somebody. No, I'm not. 3 in the bullpen. And I actually don't think that's a bad number. I don't think that's too many lefties, especially if it's lefties that can get both sides out. And I don't know. I mean, Tanner Scott could get both sides out, right? Tanner Scott should have absolutely no problem. High leverage. Yeah, he was better in high leverage. I just wanted to check that too, Joe. Oh, my God. He was so gross against lefties this year. That's ridiculous. Oh, my Lord. I mean, that's crazy, dude. He only allowed 19 runs the entire... Is that runs? Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure. He only allowed 19 runs this entire year. The more I look at Tanner Scott, the more I want him really bad. And I've wanted him really bad for a while. But the more I look at it, the more I want him even worse. Which is a problem, because I don't think the Red Sox do this. The other name that has been attached to the Red Sox that our moderator, Robbie, also, Prodigy, are you here today? Yeah. No, I didn't see you today. What's up, Fenway Fanatic? Well, a couple tangents. Honestly, the usual. MLB Network's literally ranking top 10 relief pitchers right now. Okay, let me do this. 1, Class A. 2, probably Devin Williams, dude. That guy's a beast. Is this closers or just relief pitchers? And I think it's different. So AJ Minter got connected to the Red Sox, I believe today as well. You guys know how I feel about AJ. I'm a big AJ fan. And the big reason why is not because he is a lights out closer per se, but because he's consistent. 3 ERA, 3.2 ERA. Rough year in 2019, I'll give him that. 2020, not a ton of innings, disgusting. Sub 4 ERA, 21. 2022, disgusting. 23, not great, but still under 4 ERA. 2024, limited amount of innings, but 2.62 ERA. Hoffman, they ranked 9th. Perfect. Maybe that drives down his value. Sign him. Yeah, my only problem with that, Ryan, is he's going to be injured for the first few months of the season. And that'd be a great idea for a team that's just sort of like looking for a supplemental piece to add to an already existing fan. Like the Red Sox, I feel like are looking for... The Red Sox, in my opinion, are looking for an impact bat, right? They're not looking for, hey, this is a guy who We're going to be fine up until June, July, whatever. And then we can kind of go. 10th is Raisel Iglesias, really? Right, I think that's the difference in Ha-Seong Kim. I would like Ha-Seong Kim for sure, but don't forget, switching a pitcher's role is very risky. Remember, we destroyed Daniel Bard. Yeah, I mean, but we could sit there and say, for every Daniel Bard, there's, successful players. Hey, Jonathan Papelbon was a starter. You moved him into a closer. Look how that worked out. Joe Kelly, 4 years? No, I would not give Joe Kelly 4 years. I'd be extremely happy with Scott, Hoffman, or Yates. There's about 5 others I'd be very happy with, too. So here's the beauty of the bullpen. Which, by the way, I don't know why it's like the bullpen's not a sexy thing to talk about in terms of like appeal for fans, but it's so important, man. It's so important. With the bullpen, there's so many options. There's so many avenues to go. I feel like fans are going to have a meltdown if AJ Minter, who the Red Sox are willing to sign someone like Kirby Yates, right? There are so many ways to improve this bullpen. I'm not really worried about the Red Sox being able to do that. Even if you want to sit there and say they're not going to spend the money, right? Which is fine based on everything. I don't have faith they're going to spend money either. You can get someone in here who's a legitimate impact reliever who totally rounds out this bullpen, which is a player away from looking really, really good. You can get him for not crazy amounts of money. Kittredge, I wouldn't give Kittredge 4 years. Why exactly do I want Hoffman over Scott? Scott is so nasty. He's my top option. Like I said, there are two. It's not that I want Hoffman over Scott. It's just that I think Hoffman's 1A. I guess it's kind of over. Hoffman's 1A. Tanner Scott's a 1B. The only reason I say that is because you have a bunch of lefties. Yes, not Tanner Scott's level. I understand that. But Hoffman just I also think Hoffman on top of that too brings a lot of experience. Not that Tanner Scott doesn't. He's also more expensive than Hoffman and wants a longer deal. And I think those are the two big things that sort of stick out to me right off the top is that he wants a lot more money and he wants a longer deal. And to me, bullpens, again, like I've been saying this whole time, they're so volatile. It would be hard for me to understand a 4-year deal for a reliever. I don't know if Scott is older, but I mean in general, right? More money, more years. I don't love that. The other thing too, I think it's the reason, not the reason I didn't like the Chapman signing, but a big reason why I didn't like the Chapman signing out the gate is because defensively behind the plate, you were not very good, right? You just weren't. Now you bring in a guy who has control issues and add that to a late inning arm, that scares the hell out of me. And, Tanner Scott's in that conversation as well. Richard, you don't think Alex Cora? I always love the Alex Cora burns out the bullpen. You had, of your rotation last year, 3 of them had never pitched a full season in Major League Baseball before. Tanner Houck, Cutter Crawford, Cooper Criswell. Your other 2 were Brian Bayo, who is in his second full season pitching in Major League Baseball. Sorry, I'm not looking at the camera. I'm looking up to remember all this. And Nick Pivetta, who was your consistently inconsistent starter in your rotation for years. You don't think that had anything to do with why the bullpen burnt out. It was only Alex Cora. Not to mention, Bayo got injured, Pivetta got injured. The only reason Cooper Criswell was in there because Lucas Giolito got injured. Garrett Whitlock got injured. Oh, yeah, Joe, did you get your book? Sorry, I forgot to. Mike, thank you. Sorry, I forgot to. I haven't been all in on Scott. I'm so done with you today, dude, but I'm going to prove you wrong. Let me get out of this because I don't need you guys seeing all my analytics and stuff. Actually, probably easier to do this. What did I say? Bullpen, maybe? The one-star MLB free agent the Red Sox need in their bullpen. October 10th, you dork. My God. Am I going opening day? Yeah, probably. We had to shore up our rotation last year, and we did that this offseason. It's not Cora's fault. Bing. Have we talked about Estevez? No, we have not yet, actually. Estevez is a good one to talk to, or to talk about at least. I still prefer Hoffman. Hoffman's cheaper. I think Hoffman fits the bullpen a little bit better because here's what I'm thinking, right? Chapman, I think we, at the kind of bare minimum, right, we know is a high leverage lefty, right? We know is a high leverage lefty. And we talked about this. Did we talk about this? I don't know if we talked about this or not, but if you compare the sort of peripherals of Chapman to Tanner Scott, they're pretty dang similar, right? So you're kind of getting a similar picture there in Chapman. And then you go into, okay, so after that, right, you got your high leverage lefty. Now you got some sort of situation with your closer, with Liam Hendricks. Jeff Hoffman could also kind of parry him really well, where he's your high leverage righty. You now have two options for that high leverage eighth inning. On top of that, Jeff Hoffman, I think, is also, again, did I already say cheaper, less expensive, cheaper, shorter term, which I don't love the idea of 4 years for a reliever. And to be honest with you, I'm not sitting here saying I don't want the Red Sox to get Scott, right? I just fell in love with his Baseball Savant page live on stream. Right? I just torched E, right, by pulling up this video from October 10th with Tanner Scott in the thumbnail, talking about Tanner Scott as the one MLB free agent the Red Sox need in their bullpen. So it's not like I'm sitting here saying, guys, the Red Sox absolutely should not sign Tanner Scott. What up, baseball? Right? That's not what I'm saying here. Right, Yates for 2 years in my opinion. Tell him, Mr. Radio. I'm trying. Would there be any point in signing Hoffman and Scott? I mean, yeah, obviously, right? You'd have two of the top 10 relievers in the sport in the back end of your bullpen. You probably would be realistically awesome. But I just don't think the Red Sox really, they don't really need to do both. And I'd rather they're clearly under a budget, right? I'd rather they allocate some of that money towards the position player side of things, or at least a little bit. Give me a little bit. Top relievers by MLB Network. Who's number one? Chance of us using a six-man rotation. Sounds like out the gate they're debating it really hard. I would say it's pretty real. What's the word I'm looking for? Sometimes I get through these sentences, chat, and I just want to put you through sort of my mindset while I'm talking to you guys, because I do try to respond to as many messages as humanly possible. So as I'm speaking, I'm trying to look at the next message that like kind of equates to what I'm talking about and just kind of go through, right? And sometimes I'm reading and there's just one thing that sticks out to me that it just totally throws off my train of thought, and I'm already totally thrown off. Oh, six-man rotation. Yeah, I think there's a chance. I think there's a legitimate chance that they go 6-man out the gate. Am I headed down to Fort Myers for spring training? I wish, man. I want to so bad. I've been talking about it. I wanted to go last year. I wanted to see if I could get a media pass for the minor league camp this year, because I don't think I'd get one for Major League. Although maybe, I don't know. Because I heard it's a little bit easier. But I got to say, for a wedding, Andrew, Corbin's bullying tactics, prove you wrong on bullying. Got it. Right? Dude comes in here, rage baits me the entire stream. We've been live for an hour, 18 minutes, constantly poking me with questions, looking to get me mad. I finally answer one because I knew I could prove him wrong, and he'd have nothing to say, and he goes, Corbin's bullying me. I mean, some people you just can't win, chat. Is Nick Sandlin a possibility? Nick Sandlin? Is he a free agent this year? No, he's not. He'd be a trade. Yeah, I just think, like, if you're going to trade for a reliever, I don't know if Nick Sandlin's the dude I want. Right? 3.75 ERA, 5.23 FIP. Strikeouts look good. It was the walks that were frustrating a little bit. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for too, Brent. Sandlin got traded to the Blue Jays. Am I an idiot? I'm just totally ignoring that. Yeah, he did. I am an idiot. I genuinely, I don't think you've won a single argument that you've brought up in this chat. I don't think you've done one. Right? How many righties will be in the lineup opening day? Well, Trevor Story will definitely be there. Rafael will definitely be there. Wong will most likely be there, even if it's not. I mean, he's going to be there, but if it's Narvaez, he's a righty. And then one of Campbell or Grissom will be in there as well. So you got 4 right off the bat. And then I don't know who you add to that. Would I give up 2 of the big 3 for Tatis? I'm going to do he's at, Joe, he's at Trevor Story's camp, which I thought was pretty cool. I'm going to do a video on it. I think I'll probably put it out Saturday while I'm at Fenway Fest. Or maybe I won't do a video Saturday. We'll do a video Sunday. I saw the most ridiculous trade proposal. It was ridiculous. It would be awesome for us, but Jack would never take this. But yeah, I'd give up 2 of the top 3 for Tatis. Yes. Here's the reasoning, right? If Tatis, or if any of the top 3 are even remotely as good as Tatis, the Red Sox are World Series contenders. It's as simple as that, right? If they get up to Tatis's level, they are going to be one of the best players in baseball. I'd rather just have the guy who's already shown he could be Tatis, right? Right. Stay down full-time center field. Yeah, it sounds like from what Breslow's saying is that he wants him to play more full-time center field. That's at least what we've heard so far. I don't know. Who is better, Corbin, Scott, or Hoffman? Statistically, Scott is, I think, clearly better. Yeah, give me the established player. Yeah, I probably wouldn't think twice about it. Genuinely. Like, if the Padres came to us tomorrow and I was the GM of the Red Sox, which is terrifying for, I would say, 78% of you guys. And they said, hey, Corbin. Hey, Mr. Chief Baseball Operator Corbin. Whatever it is. I'll give you the rest of Tatis, which, by the way, what is his contract? Is it like 13 years? He still has like... Yeah, dude, he signed a 14-year contract extension with the Padres in 2021. So it probably went into effect, I would guess, probably 21. So it's still 11 years on his deal. 11 years on his deal. If they came to me and they said, hey, Corbin, Mr. Chief Baseball Operator Corbin, I'll give you Tatis for Roman Anthony and Marcelo Meyer. Yep. Sergio, I'm probably going to be there. Right. I don't think, if you're going to argue that, I don't know how you argue it. The only reason people are going to say no is because of the steroid thing. Best case scenario outfield for me is Duran, Rafaela, Anthony. Yeah. I think, give me all the steroid guys. Give me them all. I'll take them. Yeah. I mean, that'd be a great outfield, right? I don't know what happens to Abreu. I'm curious to see if they end up trading Abreu or if they sort of like regulate him is the wrong word, but turn him into more of a platoon bat. The problem with that is that you don't really have one, right? You don't really have a. So that's my conundrum with Abreu. I think teams are looking at him as more of a platoon bat right now, which I think is ridiculous, by the way. I think he can hit left-handed pitching. He just needs experience, which is fine, whatever. But for the Red Sox, like if you have to hold on to him, what do you do? What do you do? And it's crazy to say, right? It's crazy to say because he's a valuable player. I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't be diving. I know I shouldn't be acknowledging it. I act tough behind the mic, and when I step on you, you run scared. You are hiding behind a keyboard, my guy. At least I'm showing my face. If anything, you coming on here and continuously trying to make me mad via keyboard is way worse, dude. I'm sorry. I really shouldn't be letting him do this. But regardless, back to my conversation. $1.99 super chat from Colby. Thank you, Corbett. Thank you, Colby. I almost just called you my first name. You think we get Bregman or Arenado? First and foremost, let's get some likes on that chat. Very generous of you, Colby. Do I think we get either of them? Feels like the Red Sox are. The problem is it feels like the Red Sox are hell-bent on getting one of those guys, but then we hear they don't even have an offer for Bregman, right? Do I think we get one of them? I don't want to say yes and it be wrong and lay you down. I think we're going to see the Red Sox attached to both those names a whole lot until something happens. That's what I'll say. What's up, Cheryl? Thank you so much. I'll be happy with Hoffman. I'd be very happy with Hoffman. Would Griffin Jax be a good candidate? Trade candidate? I just don't love the idea of trading Abreu and Fitz for Arenado when his value's so low. Like you could just give him money. You know what I mean? You give him money and a lower level prospect. Like, Herrera is great, and he's only 24. What does he play? What position, though? He's a catcher, yeah. I don't think they trade him. I don't think they trade Herrera. They just moved what's-his-face, Contreras, to first base, so I don't think he's on the market. It might be worth it, essentially flipping Abreu for Herrera. I wouldn't hate it at all. I thought I was going to hate it more than I actually am now that I'm looking at it. I don't know if you need Fitz in there, man. I really don't. I mean, you probably do in real world sense, but I don't know. How do I keep coming up with ideas when there's nothing happening at all? At the beginning of the offseason, I wrote down, well, one, we go over every rumor, report, news, whatever, and break it all down. So there's always a rumor report, right? But two, at the beginning of the offseason, I always write down, I had a list of like 30 video ideas, or at least concepts of ideas. And then I go from there. $2 super chat from Dennis. Thank you so much, Dennis. Man, I really appreciate you guys' kindness tonight. It means a lot to me. Thank you. Make sure we like that message from Dennis. I appreciate you. I prefer bullpen over bat. What's that? Remember that old, what was that? El Paso, the taco shell commercial, right? Or it's like, why not both? Little girl. Anyways, I don't know why I thought that. It should be both, right? It should be both. You're the Red Sox, you should be able to do both. You can get a high-end reliever and a high-end bat. Not a chance. You can't do it. Cartella. I don't know how to pronounce that. Cartella. Diego, right? Diego. Is that what it is? Yeah, it is Diego. So they DFA'd this guy, right? Man, he's going through it in the Venezuelan Winter League, I'll tell you that much. I could kind of see why. He hasn't really been, even in minor league level, he hasn't really been productive since 2022. Cartilla, thank you. It's worth the flyer. You don't have any. So he's only 22 years old, too. Man, the Dodgers can afford to get rid of these guys. Is crazy. Yeah, I'd be down to get this guy. Maybe we'll look into it. As sort of catching depth. This would be a nice replacement for Teal for sure. Actually. Yeah, I remember. So I remember him being like in that 21, 22 range. Him being like, hey, this is what was he, top 50 prospect? Yeah, 22 homers in 22 in low A and high A. That's crazy. God, I hate these straw water bottles, but I use them because it's less noise for you guys. Who's the closer? Liam Hendricks. What happened to the Sean Murphy rumors? I don't think they were ever really substantiated. I think it was someone who threw it out there to see what would happen, and then that was sort of it. Oh, it was, who was it? Was it Bailey, right? Foolish Baseball? He did it. Try sippy cup. Might need to. I did have a sippy cup. Remember I had the sippy cup for a while, but all the ice would come forward and be like in the microphone. Cartilla was top 10 in baseball? Let's take a look. Let's take a look, shall we? What would that be? Let's say 21. Let's see where he was. So he wasn't there in 21. Let's take a look at 22. He was 28 and 22. 23, he was 14 in 23. And then by the end of 24, he was off. Interesting. I'd absolutely give that guy a shot. I wonder what it would take to trade for him, though. If he was DFA'd, they're kind of on a clock to trade him. Yeah, I don't know. What would they be looking for? Sean Murphy came from Tyler Milliken. I don't think Tyler Milliken brought it to Section 10. I don't think Tyler Milliken got the inside information for it. I thought it was Foolish Baseball who just threw it out there. Hey, we should trade this guy for another pitcher. I'm concerned either Bregman or Arenado because Red Sox to lean towards not keeping Casas. I don't like it. Sounds like they're leaning towards not keeping Casas either way, for being honest, which I think is unbelievably stupid. Yeah, true, Joe. Give me your worst, and I'm going to make him the best. Give me your worst reliever, I'm going to make him a stud in our back end. That's just always how it goes. Last time I got in your face, you ran, called you a fraud, and exposed you. I've never met you in real life. GG was the first one to say it. Oh. Where did he hear it? Wow, Steven, real baseballed up. I'd only accept Bregman if a contract that won't stop us to improve the team in the future. There should be no contract at this point that stops the Red Sox from improving in the future. Genuinely. There's not a single one. The Red Sox have no long-term commitments that are legitimate financial burdens. What? Rafael Devers is $30 million. Bayo's making what? $10 million a year. Whitlock's making what? 4. I say Don's locked up, but he's getting paid 6. There's just not a single reason why the Red Sox should be sitting there right now and saying, boy, I don't know, guys, that Bregman stuff, hey, that's a long-term deal. We're not going to be able to do anything for 5 years. Right? If anything, the Bregman should solidify 2 positions on your team that you can then build on over the next 2 years. Figure out where these prospects fit. Figure out where these prospects are going to land in terms of ceilings with the backing of a multi-time World Series winner, of a huge playoff name, with a veteran presence that, by the way, is only going to be productive. It's not like he's going to be bad. And he wants to be here. Good point, Joe. The only thing from stopping us improving is John Henry. So here's the thing. I think right now it's probably right to be pointing the finger at John. Here's what I'm going to say. The finger should be pointed at John Henry. However, and I know this could be twisted a bit from this front office towards the media to maybe say, look, hey, we wanted to spend, Breslow wouldn't do it. But we did hear from multiple places that Cora wants him, Kennedy wants him, Breslow doesn't. Right? That's what we heard. So I don't know if necessarily it's John Henry sitting there saying, don't spend money on Bregman, or if it's Breslow saying, I don't know if this makes sense for X and Y reasons. Where does Meyer get his shot? Wait for Story to get hurt. I would hope they're not just praying Story gets hurt to promote him. Play him a little at second base, third base late in the year. Yeah, I think that's what they end up doing. Like we've been saying for a while now, I think Meyer's a bit behind Campbell and Anthony just because of the injuries. So he's going to have some time in AAA this year, and I think we see them play. I think we see them play Meyer at third base and second base this year. Just to give them a little versatility too, right? That allows them easier paths to Major League Baseball. Yeah, that's true, Jack. I don't want Bresler to fold, though. He has a vision. I'd rather follow that than give in to an emotionally charged decision like Cora wants to do. Yes and no. Right? Yes and no. I think there's absolutely merit to that, Joe. Right? You should be trusting your CBO, whatever you want to call him, in decisions like this. But I also think it's important to not ensure, because at the end of the day, it's his decision. I think it's important to consider, right? You've got Cora, who's been with the Red Sox for a while, who's played with Bregman, not played with, but coached with Bregman, been on a team with him, saying, look, this guy's going to help our squad, right? And again, yes, it's partly emotionally charged. I think part of it is also he's just looking. Sorry, I keep shaking my leg and shaking the camera. He's just looking at the overall projections of who Bregman could be. They have Class A at 4 versatility. He almost won a Cy Young this year. Baseball Network is maybe the worst at top 10s in baseball. I mean, genuinely. They are a network dedicated to only baseball. Where did Class A land in the Cy Young voting? I get he had some bad moments. This is sorry, Chad. I'm going on another tangent. I get he had some bad moments in the postseason this year. He finished third in Cy Young voting. He had a 0.61 ERA. He 47 saves. His ERA plus was a 6.74. That is 574% better than the average pitcher in baseball. Rob, thank you for subscribing to the channel, man. Anyways, back to the conversation I was having. So yes, you're right. Craig Breslow needs to ensure that his vision is what ends up happening on the Red Sox, because that's ultimately what he's paid to do. But I do think it's important when you're in a position like that to consider everything, right? Alex Cora, your manager, the guy that you put your faith in for the next 3 years, that said, hey, look, I'm going to be here with you and we're going to build this team together, is drooling over this guy. Your owners, at least from Sam Kennedy's perspective, or mouth, I guess, if we're going to put Sam Kennedy as a mouthpiece everywhere else, we got to put him for the mouthpiece as this. Your owners are saying, yeah, we'd like Bregman too. You got to at least look into why, right? You can't sit there and be like, no, right? Like a toddler, right? No. Right, you got to look into why. And I'm not saying Breslow's not doing that. Of course Breslow's doing that. What are the rumors saying about the money for Bregman right now? So it's kind of interesting. We haven't heard a ton in terms of where teams are at for Bregman when it comes to actual dollars being offered. Carabas and Section 10 are adamant the Red Sox don't have a contract offer. And you know what? They're usually right. So I don't know where the Red Sox are at in terms of what they're thinking. Are they waiting for sort of like this grandfather offer? I don't know. Are they just simply not interested? I don't know that either. I don't know. What we do know is that the dollar value appears to be similar with other teams. It appears as though it's going to be in the 30-ish million range, right? Between 27 and 31, probably. We also know that Bregman wants 6-7 years. Every other team in Major League Baseball, it appears as though he wants 4 or 5 years. Or they want 4 or 5 years. Right? If it's Cora vouching for any non-Astro player, I think Breslow bends the knee. But since it's an Astro, it's clearly very emotionally charged. I would actually think it'd be the opposite, wouldn't it? Like, yeah, I get there's probably some emotional attachment to him being in the clubhouse, but you know this guy better than 90% of Major League Baseball. Right? You know what his weaknesses are. I'd like Bregman at 3 or 4 years. I would love a 5-year deal with an opt-out after 3. I'd love it. Could I put a poll higher or lower than, yeah, if you'd like. I don't know what the answer to this is going to be. I lost you guys. Oh, you're back. Yeah, Walker Buehler's probably been recruiting Bregman. They own a horse together. I've kind of totally dismissed players being like, "Oh, I'm recruiting." Like sometimes it works, but it's only when they sign, right? And the Red Sox players haven't exactly been fantastic at recruiting players lately. It also has to line up with the paycheck, I guess, too. But I put no stock into them being like, "Oh, Walker Buehler's, trying to get the Red Sox to sign Bregman." Great. So is 90% of your fan base. Why did you phrase the poll question like that? That's exactly what you asked. Who asked that? Who asked for the poll? Can I put a poll higher or lower on 200 million? Will he get 200 million? Yes would be higher. No would be lower. Will Bregman get more or less than 200? Answers yes and no. Am I missing something? Okay, guys. If we really want to get super specific, fine. We'll get super specific. I didn't ask a lesser note. Will Bregman get more or less than 200? Oh. I see. I see. Run out of water, which means that you got about 15 minutes left of the stream. It's always around 8:30, 8:45 that I'm. Yeah, I think it's less. I think he ends up with less. I honestly could see something around the Trevor Story contract. I think that's right around where Bregman lands. Let me see. Trevor Story. 6 years, 140 for Story. I honestly think there is no way. How about 32 a year over 5 years? Yeah, I don't care about I can handle E. No problem. I might end up muting E, honestly. 32 year over 5 years? Yeah, I mean, sure. Right? I don't care. You ready for the coming blizzard this weekend? I didn't even know we were getting a blizzard, so that's news to me, buddy. I have no idea. Yeah, I had no idea. If there's a blizzard, I might not go to Fenway Fest. I'm not trudging through a blizzard, I don't think. I wouldn't say, if we're being honest, you're supposed to get 8-inch. Okay, hold on. Time out. I was gonna go on a conversation about how someone was like, "Oh, Bregman's more durable than Story," but we'll get back to that in a second. Back to the toolbox. Oh, good. It is supposed to snow. Oh, it's not supposed to snow that much, though. Let me see. Friday night's going to snow. Chance of snow 30%. Okay. Saturday, morning snow showers. Chance of snow 30%. Wait, why is the stream over? No, I'm just trying to figure out for winter weekend this weekend. Or Fenway Fest, I'm sorry. Wait, why did Laser win the how many inches? Is there a site that just tells you how many inches to expect? Like, why do I sit here and have to dig for the inches? Sounded odd. Saturday. NOAA. Okay. Someone's probably clicking on this channel. Someone's probably clicking on this live stream for the first time, being like, oh, I wonder what Red Sea Radio has to say about the latest regarding the Boston Red Sox. And I am sitting here on NOAA.com trying to figure out if it's going to be snowing for Fenway Fest. I suppose I could do this on my own time, but okay, NOAA is even oh. Sam, I'm jumping down people's throats tonight, I think. Actually, I shouldn't do my city. I should do Boston. All right. Here we go. Saturday. Mike, okay. New snow accumulation less than an inch. Oh, we're chilling. Guys, do we need to take everything into that context? I mean, really. Talking about an inch here. That's all we're doing. We're talking about an inch, folks. An inch of snow. We're good. You're supposed to get 8 to 10. Weather's wild, man. Weather is wild. Also, I had someone on my video today about Christian Campbell say they aren't impressed. They aren't impressed with the Red Sox farm system. That they say they don't think that this Red Sox farm system is any good. This is a current poll of MLB executives. MLB executives, people who work in Major League Baseball, folks, they seem to disagree. They seem to totally disagree with the idea that the Red Sox don't have a good farm system. Yeah, and this is after trading 2 of the top 4. It's crazy. Yeah, Red Sox. I knew there'd be someone. What up, Arlen? How you doing? Oh, versatility. That's a 10-minute timeout, my guy. Tampa Bay's either in the playoffs or a top 5 farm. Doesn't look like they are right now. Wow, the Sox have one of the best farm systems. MLB is wrong. Are you saying the Red Sox don't? Ronald, I appreciate you watching, man. Thank you. Who said Boston's in a top farm system? No, they just said they weren't impressed. White Sox are better than Tigers. I would probably agree with that. Right. Yeah, and the White Sox are only there because they acquired 2 of our best prospects. I mean, this is crazy. The farm system of this team is absolutely ridiculous. Franklin Arias, I think, is a big prospect to watch. Conrad Kaysen, man, that's going to be the name I'm watching. The problem is I always ping one of these guys, and last year was Nazan, and Nazan did not help me out. But I still think Nazan's a big-time prospect to pay attention to. In terms of athleticism, I would pay attention to Nazan Donatello a bit. Was he second round last year? The Sox have a great farm system? Yeah, that's exactly what this is saying. Not only give up on Blaze Jordan. I don't know why Red Sox, I've never been. Doesn't Pittsburgh have a few good prospects? They sure do. Are minor league schedules out yet? I don't think so. Blaze Jordan to me has always been that kind of guy that's just sort of, he always profiled out big power potential. We knew that, but we never really thought that he was going to be a number 5 prospect in baseball, right? He's always going to be a solid player. And I think a lot of people took the one clip of him hitting a 500-foot home run when he was 14, being like, yep, this is the next Babe Ruth. When does Pipeline come out? When does Pipeline about the prospect list? I'm not entirely sure what you're talking about. Is Casey playing two-way? Yes, he's going to try it at least. Red Sox need to add a couple of catchers in the draft. From what I understand, and I'm not a big draft guy. I always dive into who they drafted as opposed to who they should draft. It's just with baseball, I don't see a ton of appeal of tracking these guys through college or high school, whatever. But from what I understand, the draft this year has a lot of really good catchers. Mikey Romero, yeah, true. Don't forget about Mikey, guys. Oh, when do they come out with the 2025 list? I believe they're already out. I think MLB Pipeline's most recent update was recently. It wasn't 2025, but it was pretty late on. Let me see. I wish, does Google do a review, a year in review for your searches? Because I think 95% of my searches have been MLB top 100 prospects. I don't see the, usually they do the last one they did was August? That doesn't sound right. Yeah, there's no way it was August. Oh, because if I change the year 2025, it's blank. Good call, chat. You'd be correct. I would assume they come out with it pretty quickly. That's a good point, Jack. I didn't even think about that. See, you guys' head are in a much different place than mine is. Perfect Game had won this week. If Roman Anthony's not at the top, I'm fighting. I wonder if, because Baseball America put Roman Anthony as the number 1 prospect. I'd assume they do that coming into 25 as well. You got to imagine, who's 21? So he's behind Walker Jenkins of the Minnesota Twins, an outfielder. And he's behind Dylan Cruz. Do any of those change? How did Walker Jensen? Who is Walker Jensen? Oh, chat. All right, 1 second, chat. I got to show you something. Hold on. It's funny. It's not funny, but it's funny now that she's feeling better. Come here. Hi. You want to say hi? That's my poor cat recently. She got an eye infection on Sunday, so we've been dealing with that. But it's kind of funny seeing her in the. We got her a space one. But she's feeling a lot better today. We're doing good today. It is just hilarious. So, like, look at this. Oh, she does not want to be yelled right now. Okay. I'm sorry. Devin Williams at 1 makes sense to me, versatility. But it's just like you'd see like she looks like a dandelion or a sunflower. So funny. Or a demogorgon. It's so funny. Cade Smith at number 2 over Class A and Hensley. I'm out. Devin Williams, I think, is you could have the conversation about him being a number 1, but yeah, that's tough. Ask her if we get Bregman. Misty, do we get Alex Bregman? Yeah, you don't care. She just wants someone to scratch where she can right now, back of her head. She comes in, she's until we scratch the back of her head. It's super funny. So what's interesting is I changed the entire phrasing of that poll, Mike, and the answers ended up exactly the same. Cade Smith's under the hood stats. Well, maybe they were right. I don't know. Let me see. I got to figure out somewhere else to put this camera. Every time I bump this microphone. Misty, I love you, dude, but your head is ginormous right now. Yeah, I don't know. Like, the peripherals are fine. But, like, they're still not better than Class A or Hensley's, I don't think. Do I think the Red Sox going to... Misty. Do I think the Red Sox are going to sign anyone else because they are cheap? No, they probably won't sign anyone because they're cheap. They would sign someone because they're not, right? Is that the question you're asking? It's because it's a breakout year. It needs to be. Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe Cade Smith is a little bit off. I just wouldn't put him above Helsley. I always say Hensley for some reason. Helsley. Or certainly not Class A. Though projecting he'll be good. Oh, so is this going into 2025? This wasn't from 2024? I don't know. Red Sox make at least one big signing. I'm booking it. They're running out of big signings to make, to be honest with you. If it's not Bregman, like Tanner Scott would be a big signing, but it wouldn't be like holy crap big. It'd just be hell yeah big. You know what I mean? But I'm also not going to sit here and complain. If the Red Sox get Scott and then, I don't know, do something for a right-handed bat or rely on those other guys, I'd still think this is a pretty successful offseason. Right? I mean, you totally transform Santander. Yeah, it sounds like the Red Sox aren't super interested in him. I don't think they're going to do that, Mike, but it would be funny. I'm in the boat of I've never hated the idea of Anthony Santander. I still think it'd be kind of fun. But where was I? Oh yeah, in terms of the offseason as a whole, if they go and they get a Tanner Scott or a Jeff Hoffman, the bullpen was more success, or the offseason this offseason I think will be more successful than last few offseasons in terms of legitimate fill a need, right? Yeah, Steven, I don't think they need or get both Bregman and Arenado. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if I'd call Kirby Yates a big signing. It'd be a solid addition, but it'd be a 1-year deal for an almost 40-year player, for a year 40 player. I don't know if that'd be a big signing. Lineup is too left-handed. Look, I get it. I understand it. But I would rather have all lefties in your lineup and have them be very good than be like, well, we got to trade this guy who's a lefty to get a random righty just so it goes left, right? I could care less about these lineup matchups if these guys are all talented. If we have Marcelo Meyer, Roman Anthony, Jarren Duran, Rafael Devers, Tristan Casas all in the same lineup somehow, I could care less that it's going left. I really don't, because they're going to be talented enough at some point to be able to hit both. Or they should be, right? Would I re-sign Jansen 24 for 2? No. Would not want that. He doesn't want to be here. Oh, you guys said that already. Right, like, wouldn't you rather have the highest talent than just be like, yeah, too many lefties, they're not going to be good. Too many lefties, sorry, they're not going to be good. I just don't, like, how many truly dominant left-handed relievers are there that you're like, oh crap, we got 6 lefties in our lineup, we're going to get crushed? I mean, genuinely, how many truly dominant lefties are you sitting there saying that about? Crochet? Well, he's on your team. Tanner Scott, sign him. Boom, there you go, right? I mean, who else you got to deal with? So I sit there and like, oh, but in the playoffs they're just gonna spam lefties. Bullpens in Major League Baseball have what, 2-3 lefties in them? Okay. Max Fried, fine, but I would also put faith in Rafael Devers being able to go yard against Max Fried. Why didn't they get Chris Martin? Chris Martin just wanted to go home, man. Yeah, and we got to Max Fried. I don't know. Chris Sale? All right. Chris Sale will put in that category, yes. You sure he's like already 30? Whatever. What's the complete bullpen right now? You want me to list all what is it, 13, 8? I really think there's a good chance we get Vladdy next season. I never said there's a good chance they get Vladdy. I just said Vladdy said he wanted to come here. That's it. I feel like everyone's wrote Grissom off. I think he gets an opportunity in spring training. Yeah, he definitely will. All right, Steven, we'll see you next week, my friend. How often am I facing? Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I have zero issues with the Red Sox being fully left-handed going forward. I'd be like, again, I would take 9 players, and there's not 9 players. I think the left-right thing is totally overblown. It just happens to be that your left-handed hitters are your biggest hitters, right? But guys like Story, Grissom, those guys can contribute. Guys like Wong has contributed. I think you can see where Rafaela could get slightly better. You could see where Christian Campbell could make an impact. Okay, great. Misty, stop. That probably sounds gross on the mic. She's licking her cone of shame right now. The Red Sox have a higher chance of getting Arenado or Bregman. Right now, I'd say Arenado. But I don't know. 1 or 2 right-handed bats wouldn't be bad. But if you get 2 right-handed bats, then you have to start having the conversation of, okay, what lefty are we blocking out? Because if you get 1, okay, fine, you could fit him in somewhere, right? You get 2, now all of a sudden you have to have a conversation of, is it Casas you're getting rid of? Is it Abreu you're getting rid of? Is it Massa you're getting rid of? Is it Duran? I don't know. Didn't even hear Missy at all? Oh, good. So it's just me who heard that disgustingness? Nice. Would I give the Red Sox the Orioles the edge? Honestly, I think they're kind of even, right? I think they're kind of even, honestly. Because the Red Sox, I think, have a way better pitching staff right now. But the Orioles had the better young talent. I think it comes down to, can the Orioles improve their rotation And can the Red Sox farm system produce stars? And I would give, which one has a higher probability? I would give the Red Sox getting stars better. Shocked Arenado's even on the block with Heim. Why? Heim's being tasked to do the exact same thing he did in Boston. Oh, never mind. They're not on their way out, dude. Yes, they've been wasting their window. I agree. But like Gunners just won Rookie of the Year last year. Colton Cowser won this year. Jackson Holliday's still there. That guy Mayo's coming up. Adley's still young. Like I could name 6 or 7 that are going to be there for at least 3 or 4 more years. I don't think they're on their way out. They're still smack dab in the middle of it. They're just not doing anything to get themselves to the next spot. What's up, Jeff? Way better pitching Red Sox is a phrase I never thought I'd hear. Well, you get used to it because the Red Sox pitching rotation looks good right now. Need more pitching relief. One more arm should do it. Why Arenado over Costas if Costas is hitting significantly better than Arenado over the past few years? It's a great question. Don't know. Don't have an answer for you. Ty, not a clue. Better rotation than the Yankees? No, but their ceilings are actually similar, I think, than people realize. I genuinely believe that. Especially with Rodon going the opposite direction. Yoshida, they don't want to take on a contract to trade Arenado, so that's not going to happen, which kind of sucks for the Red Sox because that would be perfect. Should the Red Sox give David Hamilton an extension? No. As much as I love you, Mike, no. For some reason, a blazing hot take, you can have yeah, I know. It feels like I'm talking to a brick wall sometimes where it's like, how can the Red Sox not understand that you can have both? How? Would you rather trade Costas to make room for Arenado or DFA Massa outright and put Devers at DH and Arenado at third? I don't want to do either of those things, but I think it has to be DFAing Massa. I think it has to be. Cheryl, the Red Sox trading Tristan isn't about cheapness. It isn't, right? If anything, it's the exact opposite. It's just dumb. Where you're taking on $33 million in salary for Arenado and trading away $770,000. How is that cheap behavior? Yeah, CTX. But I'm curious if the Red Sox be like, no, we'll take the whole thing and we'll give you nothing. You know what I mean? Yeah, CT or KT, but they also said that or we heard a report lately that a lot of teams have pulled out of talks with about Arenado. You know, honestly, what was the B reporter for St. Louis that said Red Sox the last shot? If he doesn't get traded to the Red Sox, he's not getting traded. Yeah, I agree with you, Joe. I mean, Rafi's paid, man. He's not going to be a free agent until he's 40. I don't think he'll care. Do I believe the Tanner Scott rumors? I do think the Red Sox are pursuing him. I don't know if I'd put them at front runner. Could the Red Sox maybe bring back Xander in a trade? Sure, if he's willing to totally rework a contract or if the Padres are willing to take on basically the entire contract. Raymond, I don't think that's a good idea. Also, no, I don't think Gunnar. If you're trading for Austin Riley and giving up Fitz, Meyer, and Anthony, my God, get out of a front office. That would be terrible. That would be terrible. Gunner maybe, but good Lord, that's a lot. Especially to trade Meyer and Anthony in division. That's a Bobby D going to Chicago. Dude's going to hit like 40 bombs or something. Dude's going to do something stupid. Now he's getting playing time with absolutely no pressure to do anything. Which starting pitcher do you think gives us the most innings this year? Good question. I'm gonna say Bayo has the most innings this year. I'm gonna say Bayo does. Yeah, sad stuff, Mike. Sad stuff. R.I.P. I didn't know them too well from their playing days, but sad stuff. Always sad to see that type of thing happen. Think it's Bueller somehow? That'd be crazy. That'd be sweet, but that'd be crazy. Houck, yeah, I could see Houck too. All right, chat. I've been trying to make these more concise. I feel like we just end up on tangents, and I do the exact opposite of that. But that's the fun of these, right? That's the fun of these. I love these. I love these live streams. We have conversations I never even considered us having during these live streams. I think it's a ton of fun. I think we're gonna call it here. I don't want to go too long and start talking about the same thing over and over again for the people who've been here the whole time. So what I'm going to say, $2 super chat from Rusty's before I head out of here. He commented right at the bell. Rusty's, thank you so much. Unbelievably generous of you. Can we get some likes in the chat on that? Go buy yourself un plato de Sancho. Plato de Sancho. That's all I'm taking away from this too, Joe. I don't know what that is. Un plato de Sancho. Did I say something bad? Could I do a stream if a trade or a signing goes down? Depends on when it happens, man. Contreras and Arenado to Boston? That's not gonna happen, yeah. When's the next live? We try to do every Wednesday. Sancocho. All right, guys. If you're new here, we do these once a week. Okay, I'm going to look this up because I feel like I said something really bad. Main job, it's not talking baseball, and that's all that matters. I want to get to a point where it is talking baseball. Plato de, and he meant oh, this looks gas, dude. It's like a soup. Or a jumbo, or a gumbo of sorts. Looks super good, whatever it is. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you being here. There's no news really going on with the Sox, so the fact that you guys are sitting here with me really means a lot. Really means a lot. Hey, Jeff, good luck with your hockey stuff, man. Is it just Jeff H? You gotta put whatever your hockey thing is in the chat. I want to see. I want to take a look at it after this. Thank you to everyone who donated today. Unbelievably generous donations from you guys today, and I really appreciate that. Yeah, we're less than a month away, or just over a month away, folks. Just over a month away from baseball coming back, and that's crazy to say. It feels like this offseason's been 10 years long. 10 years. Utah Hockey Live, folks. I'm going to take a look at it after this, Jeff. Yeah. If you haven't considered subscribing yet, we do this once a week. We do this every day if you're considering talking Red Sox. Consider giving this video a like if you liked it. Dominican gumbo and it's gas. It looks really good, dude. I'm gonna get some this weekend for you, Rusties. I promise. I'll take a picture. When's the next member stream? I'm thinking probably around mid January. Mid-January, I think. Do you think the Red Sox has sampled because of Laddie saying what he did? I hope not to go. That would be a dumb way to be a front office, is to just go off of Bob Nightingale's report, right? That would suck. Okay, I'm going to get out of here before I get sucked into another rant. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you to everyone who donated. Thank you to all my members. Thank you to everyone who just hung out with me during these live streams. It really does mean a lot to me. This weekend, again, I will be at Fenway Fest. If you want to say hi, I'm going to be making a video there, and then that'll be out Monday, so keep an eye out on that. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the